So our kind of our big topic for the day is the kind of the spring football evaluation and looking at the QB room. And then we'll kind of throughout the episodes go through the depth chart and everything else. But you know what's so great is this offseason, this spring, we have a definitive QB1. So let's just embrace that for a second.
Yeah, it's been since Shea Patterson in 2019, really, and that season would have probably gone a lot better if he didn't get pretty severely injured on literally the first play that he had the ball in his hands. But so knock on wood, you hope that doesn't happen again. But yeah, at least not only do you not have a quarterback controversy, JJ McCarthy is healthy and able to go out there and have a spring ball, and he would have probably been much further ahead last year if he didn't have his shoulder injury. So it was all Cade, and Cade certainly didn't inspire a lot of confidence. I did my best to kind of, keep the Wolves at bay. It's like, listen, we already know what Cade can do. It doesn't really matter what if he doesn't look super sharp in the spring game. But then when he does it in the first game, then it gives that opening to JJ McCarthy. We know how that goes. So JJ, entering his third year, that's usually kind of when you see a quarterback take that big step forward. Is in year 3. I mean, yes, we've seen, first and second year quarterbacks in the last decade end up being pretty good, from Bryce Young to CJ Stroud. I mean, heck, even JJ last year. But usually when they get into year 3, that's when we start to really see guys take off. So I think that him having a spring ball where he can kind of really acclimate with his receivers. You don't have any aside from Matt Weiss. And you bring in Kirk Campbell, who's already there. You don't really have any offensive turnover from a staff perspective. So you're keeping things pretty close to the same, and but still having a new guy kind of working with you that could be honestly a positive in the sense of maybe he hears a couple different things from Kirk Campbell that he didn't hear from Matt Weiss, but he's had 2 years of Matt Weiss. So I think that you have a situation where the terminology is going to be the same as it has been for JJ, and the coaching, and as far as the offensive coordinator Jim Harbaugh is the same. Kirk Campbell is a guy who already has the familiarity with, but might be able to have some insights that Matt Weiss didn't. And he had offensive coordinator experience himself at Old Dominion, so. I think that all plays really well, and you would expect that usually that the more experienced players get, the better they are at the college level. It's almost without fail whenever you look at how players respond the further they go in their college career. And I always like to bring up when I was a fan, well before I was in the media, I used to always joke because when I was still at Michigan, I got for $10, I got a number 10 jersey, Nike jersey from the TJ Maxx there at Maple and Jackson Boulevard. And so when I moved to California, I'd go to all these Michigan bars to watch games, and they'd be like, "Oh, cool, you got a Tom Brady jersey." And I'd be like, "Oh, this is a Jeremy Gallon jersey." And we'd all have a good laugh because Jeremy Gallon was awful at that time, right? Fast forward like 2 years, and Jeremy Gallon is the best wide receiver Michigan ever had. So, I mean, not really literally, but numbers wise with the single game and stuff like that, he became extremely dependable. You think about some of those guys throughout the years, Jeremy Gallon, Stevie Brown, Morgan Trent, guys that were liabilities when they were on the field at one point and then became absolute beasts. So imagine, assuming that JJ McCarthy can get better, which I think he certainly can and will, that trajectory speaks very well. And then you're surrounded by a team that is in that same boat. Michigan lost very little. They're the number 5 returning production team in the country. Usually that bodes well. And the opposite tends to also be true. It's the same reason why heading into 2021, everyone's sitting there looking at Northwestern and being like, they're so good. I mean, they're gonna be right back out of the West. And I sat there and said, are they?
Not so fast. Yeah.
So usually it's a pretty dependable predictor. And I think that you mix having the quarterback with all of the other guys, and it really bodes very, very well for the offense.